Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to be replacing our older closet doors with the more modern style doors such as this one right here. So I'm going to take you in, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to remove these doors, how to cut down the new replacement doors, how to install them, and get the job all done. Now I do want to point this out to you. When you buy these doors in the big box stores, I should say when you buy these doors in the big box stores, they come 80 inches high. The doors that are in here now are only 78.5 inches high. So we need to cut down the new doors such as this. We need to take 1.5 inches off at the bottom of the door so it will fit into this opening right here. Sounds easy, and with the right tools and a little bit of know-how, you really will not have a problem with it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these doors off. We're going to get these out into the garage, and then we're going to cut down the new doors, and we'll put them on just like these doors right over here. All right, so first thing you're going to do to remove it, let me bring it in, I'm going to show you. Look down on the bottom of the doors down here. You'll notice that there's this little runner here that holds the doors in place. So we need to take out that screw there. There's a screw right inside there. And I hope you can see this here. There's one more screw right back in there. We're going to take out those 3 screws right there, and then we'll take those pieces out, and then we'll be able to take the doors and push the doors out to remove them. Look at the top of the doors up here. You'll notice that the wheels up here are actually in the channel right up on top right there. So we need to take off these pieces right here so we can replace them onto the newer doors that we're going to be putting on. And the way we're going to do that now is we'll take out the pieces on the bottom. We'll take these doors, slide them in and out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to unscrew these screws right here. Out. We just put this off to the side for now, and then we're going to take these doors and we'll pull them open like this. You grab the door like this, push it back like this, and then you lift it up. And out, just like that. And we'll take the door out. We're going to do the same thing on this side here, but we need to get this one behind this small cleat down on the bottom. Okay, we'll take that out. Just like that. And now that we have it out, the door swings both ways like this. Okay? And again, the next thing we do is just take the door, push it in like this, and you push it, and it comes off just like this. And now these doors are off. Let's take them in the garage and we'll cut down the new doors. Okay, so now we're going to cut down the hollow core door. Now with these doors, when you buy them, the whole door itself is actually hollow up inside here. So let me just show you what I mean. This is a stud finder. It'll tell us where the outside ribbing would be. So you see right there? That's how thick the bottom of this door actually is. So now when we try to cut this 1.5 inches up, we're going to be cutting right up inside here, so it's going to be in the hollow part of the door. So let me show you how we're going to go ahead doing that. First thing we needed, of course, is a stud finder. We need a pencil. We need some tape like this, a tape measure, and you can use a skill saw, you can use a jigsaw, you can use whatever you have. In this particular case, I'm going to be using the skill saw, but I will show you another door. I'll put a link in the video up above that you can see how I cut it down, another door, using a jigsaw. All right, so if you do not have the guide like this on here, I'm going to show you how to go about doing it with just a piece of wood so that your saw can follow that mark. All right, let's get started. Let's get this job done. The first thing you want to do before you do anything is take some tape like this and just tape up the door, just like this. By putting the tape on here, you're going to minimize the amount of chipping that will take place. So don't be afraid of using a good amount of tape on there. As we finish the job, of course, we will remove it. Now we're going to go a little bit further back here as well, because we don't want the saw that touches up against here to scratch our brand new door. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to take the door and turn it over. And we're going to tape it up on this side of the door as well. We're going to take our tape measure and measure 78 1/2 inches. We're going to mark it. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side now. Okay. Now we're going to take a straight edge and we're going to draw a line . Just like this. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a utility knife and we're going to strike right along there to minimize the chipping of the paint below. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, it doesn't have to be deep, just has to be enough to strike the door and put a slight little crease in it. Now this particular saw here works a little bit differently. I have a guide right on the end right here, which will give me the distance that I need. So let me just take a look in here and make sure it's correct. Okay. So now our saw is exactly where we want it to cut. Now if you didn't have this guide on here, you could take a piece of wood such as this, put it on here like this, clamp it on, like that. Now if we had to do it this way, without this guide piece, we would just have the saw, this part of the saw right here, touching up against here, like that, and we would just run it through here exactly where we need to. But that's not the case. We have a nice straight piece that we're going to use right here, but if you didn't, you could use this as a guide to get a nice straight line across. Okay? We're not going to use that now, like I said, because we have the other way of doing it. And this is what I mean about it being hollow inside. See? There's nothing in here. And as you can see, it's hollow right in here. All right, so the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take off this outside part of the door right here, and we'll get ready to put it back on here. All right, so let me just take off all this tape here, and then we'll continue with that. I bring it in here, I'll show you what it looks like. See, it's a nice clean cut, no edges damaged. Okay, next thing we're going to do is, you see these pieces down inside here, this cardboard? We're just going to take this and bend these over, just like that. Okay, just like that. Same thing right here. Just going to bend it over like that. We're going to clean out all that sawdust in there, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to separate the cardboard here from this cardboard from that wooden side there. So let me grab one more tool I forgot to tell you about, and we'll continue. Okay, I'm hoping you can see okay, but this is the tool I forgot to tell you about. We needed a hammer and we need a plane to actually get this stuff off of here. So first thing we're going to do is going to take this, put it on the ground, and we're going to hit this side part of here, and we're going to take that off. Okay. So now we have that off. We'll take this off here, and we'll do the same thing on this side right over here. We're going to just take that, snap this stuff off here. Same thing here. All right, these end blocks here, we're going to take those off. And the way you do it is just take a hammer and just hit it, take it off. Same thing right here. That's trash. And this we're just going to take. This is the part that's going to be actually inside the door. So what we're going to do now is we take our small plane like this, and we just plane down the wood just to get off all of the material. Okay, then once you have all this material off on here, and on the other side here as well, at that point we can take this, we're going to wipe it down with some sandpaper here real quick. We're going to sand it, and then we're getting ready to put it back inside the hollow door. Now when we put this back in, we want to have this painted part facing outside, and it's going to go in here just like this. Okay, but before we put this in, we're going to put some glue on it. Now, this is just personal preference. This just happens to be the glue that I'm using here. Not that I'm pushing this glue, but you use a good carpenter's glue and you'll be fine. All right? So we put a very slight bead of glue. We have our glue on here. We take our piece of wood, the white part facing out, put it in the door here, and we just tap it in there. And just tap it in until it's flush with the bottom of the door. We're going to go and grab a rag right now, wipe off the excess. Okay, so now we have a damp rag to clean off the glue. And we're just going to tap the bottom piece in until it's flush. Be very careful, you don't want to knock it in too far. Even here. And we got to go a little bit more here. Okay, and it's even there now as well. Now we're going to take our rag. Let's wipe off the excess glue. Do the same thing on the upper part. going to dry it down a little bit. And now our piece of wood is now in there, and we need to secure it in place while it dries. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to take a piece of wood here, like this. We're going to take our 2 clamps, like this. We're going to put it on the bottom like this to hold the wood. We're going to put a clamp on here now, just to hold it until the glue dries thoroughly. Okay, so that's nice and clamped up nice now. We're just going to clean off any of the excess glue again. And now this door is finished. We're going to put this on the side, and we'll do the exact same thing on the second door. Okay, now what I want to point out too is I'm going to take these pieces off here, the wheels that are actually holding it in place, and we're going to put them right up inside here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to measure in so that this sits 1 inch in from the corner right here. Then we're going to pre-drill the holes to put this in, and then we're going to put that piece, the wheel, on here, and we're going to do the exact same thing with that one right there. Again, we're going to take this off, take these screws out, put it on here, line it up, drill a small little 1/16 pilot hole, and then we'll put these screws in there. All right, so let's do that while we're waiting for the glue to dry right down there, and we'll continue. Okay, now remember what I told you. This is in 1 inch in from the end of the door. So that's where we're going to put this one now. We're going to go 1 inch in from the corner of the door. Now remember, when you put this on up here, we don't have much room on top to get that into. Remember, that wood is very thin. So make sure you put it about a 1/2 inch down from the top of the door itself. All right, so we're going to measure over 1 inch. We're going to put a mark right here and right here. Okay, so we have our 2 marks right there. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side right here. Now we're going to put a drill bit in here. Remember I said it's a 1/8 or 1/16. We're going to drill a very, very tiny hole. Remember, you're only going in a little bit. Okay? We're going to put our wheel up on top here. We're going to put a screw in here. Now you can either screw it in by hand, like this, or you can use a drill. I mean the electric screwdriver, which is what I'm going to do. But I'm going to catch these by hand first, just like that. Same thing over here. Okay, now that they're caught, we're going to tighten them down. We're going to snug them in a little bit. We're not going to go too tight. Okay, that's tight. Same thing over here now. Okay, now these are on and ready to go. So let's put this door to the side. We're going to let the glue dry and we'll cut that second one. Okay, so now once the glue has dried overnight, we're going to take these clamps off. Okay, we have a nice smooth bottom. Everything looks really good. Let's take this inside, and we're going to get these hung back up and get this job finished. Okay, so now that we have the doors cut, we're going to take the doors and we're going to hang them back up in here where they belong. Now, both doors need to go in the closet before you hang, one in the front and one in the back. All right, so we're going to take the doors now and we're going to slide them inside here underneath the bottom like this. Bring it in the closet just like that. Put it to the side. We're going to take our second one, bring it inside as well. Put that to the side there. Now the one that we need to put on first is the one to the outside. That's the one that's going to go on first. And you want to be aware of how you want the doors to line up. Whether you want the door to line up with the part of the door showing this way or showing the other way. But that's personal preference. Okay? So now we're going to take our door, bring it in here like this, tilt it this direction, and we're going to hook these wheels onto that channel up there. So we're going to take it, push it up like this, onto here. Okay, and now we're hooked onto the one channel right here. It runs back and forth. Okay, so we're going to take this one. This is our outside door, so that's where it's going to stay right now, just like this. Make sure you're hooked in all the way, like that. And now we'll take our second door, and we're going to hook it on the channel in the back, right up in here as well. All right, again, we're going to take it. We're going to lean it in this way here. Put the wheels up, and put it on. Now, sometimes you have a hard time getting it on there. If that's the case, then you can unscrew. You know what? Let me show you real quick. Okay, so if you could not get these wheels into that groove right up there for one reason or another, you can loosen up these screws right here, this one, and it'll give you a little bit more room. You can slide the bracket up a little bit to get it on there, and then you can adjust it later on. All right, but as you can see, we didn't have to worry about that. The wheels are in the grooves, so we know we're okay. Everything looks good, and then we'll finish it up down on the bottom. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here that we previously took out. This little piece here, we have to put a screw through here, just like that. So we're going to take this, we're going to put it by the door right underneath here, push it in as far as it'll go, and now we're just going to push this door back like that, and we're going to screw that down to the floor. So, all right, let's do that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these, and we're going to put them in underneath the bottom right here. These pieces here, just so you know, they slide in just like that. Hope you can see that. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to slide it in just like that and put a screw in here. That's it. All right. And you can see they travel nice and easy right inside the channel. Not too tight. Make sure there's not too tight down at the bottom here, and you'll be in good shape. All right, so as you can see, installing the closet doors is really fairly simple. The hardest part of the whole job is cutting down the hollow core door so that they fit properly inside the opening. But that's it. This job is done, and we're on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.